like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for the show that came on yesterday, Seeking Sister Wife. This is season 1, episode 2. This is a new show that I will be reviewing, and yeah, I hope everyone had a good day today. I am still a little bit under the weather. I actually did not go to work because I woke up feeling like shit, and I still just sound stuffy and stuff, but I just took some NyQuil, so let's see how long it takes before it kick in and I'm, you know what I'm saying, drowsy and all going crazy. So the episode picks up where the last one left off. We see the first family that lives in Utah, Jeff, Vanessa, and Sharice, and they're still talking to that potential sister wife girl who actually stays in Michigan, which is where I stay. And, you know, we come to find out what her secret was that she was talking about in the last episode. And her secret is that she can't have children. Now, I'm guessing that's, like, not a good thing because I guess a part of their thing is they want to make their family bigger and they want someone to have more children. So I guess that's why she was so hesitant to tell them that she could not have children. And I'm like, okay. And she brings up how, you know, the fact that she can't have children is another reason for why she wants to live in the polygamy lifestyle, so that she can be, you know, a mother figure to other children. And I thought to myself, well, you can do that just by marrying a man with kids. You don't have to marry a man who has another wife. You know what I'm saying? I was like, there's other ways to be a mother figure. It's like you can be a teacher, you can be a nanny, hell, you can be a housekeeper to people who got a whole bunch of kids and they can call you mama housekeeper. You know, it's all kind of things, ways you can, you know, work around not being able to have children. You can adopt, you know. I'm just like, you know, not being able to have children and living in the polygamy lifestyle, it's a big jump. You know, it's a big jump between the two. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, that is, you know, much of a secret. They are grateful that she told them, though. You know, I guess they've been talking for a couple of weeks and she has not brought it up, and she was saying she was kind of scared to bring it up. But they said they are happy to know that about her and that how they would not hold that against her, just because they already have a ton of kids. And I'm like, well, I guess that's a good thing. But if your point in being in this polygamous lifestyle is to marry multiple women and have multiple children and have multiple families, why would you marry a woman who can't bear any children? I don't, you know, that part kind of confuses me a little bit. But I think for Jeff said something like, you know, we have a connection to her, so, you know, we can still explore it, and we're gonna still move forward with getting to know her. So she's happy about that. They're happy as well. You know, the next thing we see is Drew and Vanessa, who's the first wife, and they're going on a walk. Now, Vanessa's pregnant again, and she was saying when they was courting the second wife, she was pregnant at that time too. She said so it's hard for her being pregnant and courting somebody. I'm like, well, it's just so much I don't understand, man. You know, I'm like, well, is the first wife not really open to bringing in a third wife? Like, is she still like, I don't know about this, I know we should do this, and she's going along with it because it's what the husband wants? You know, who knows? You know, she does say that she is okay with them still talking to this potential new sister wife, but she wants them to take their time getting to know her. You know, that's her only, like, stipulation or whatever. The next thing we see is them having another Skype session with this person, and they letting her meet the kids. I'm looking like, did she meet the kids via Skype already? Okay. But they say technically when you date someone, if like they're in your same city or state or whatever, that you meet the whole family like on the first day. I'm looking like, I don't know how open to that that's a lot. You know, when you dating in the regular world, you don't want to introduce the person you date to your kids, or you don't immediately introduce them to your family. You wait and get to know them a little bit. Like, nothing is instant. Whereas they're saying, like, if she stayed here, she would have met all of us that first day. I guess the only good part about that is you can kind of have her meet everyone and see how everyone meshes. But if it's too early, no one might mesh. You know, it's just crazy. But, you know, she meet the kids. All the kids come in saying hi. She shows them her cat that she has. One of the kids asked her, do she like children? It would have been funny if she would have said no. She would have said no. But she's like, yeah, I think children are wonderful and lovely little human beings and all this little, rainbows and Fruit Loops and all this little pretty stuff. And, they then invite her to come visit them in person in Utah. And she's like, oh, yeah, I think that'll be cool. That'll be so great, And we see, she said, like, I'm wanting to get to know Vanessa better. Because she's more been getting to know the second wife, Sharice, more than she's been getting to know the first wife, Vanessa. And we can see Vanessa is almost kind of, sort of, not 100% amped about this whole situation of her coming into their life. I think she's just being cautious. But once you got two wives, once you got a secondary wife, hell, a third and a fourth, it's just, it is what it is. That's the lifestyle it is. So we see how Sharice is very excited that this, potential sister wife was coming. Vanessa, not so much. Jeff is excited to see her in person. So we will see how that works out. So that was their whole story. Back in Atlanta with Dimitri and Ashley, they are, still trying to find someone as their sister wife. And they also spoke a little bit more on what happened with the first sister wife person they had. It did not work out. Ashley brings up how her and the girl were not. Why my camera look crooked? Her and the girl was not compatible to each other. She said how the girl did not want to have more children, and she was more interested in a relationship with just Dimitri and not building any kind of bond with Ashley. And I'm assuming their sister wife situation is a little bit different simply because they're literally trying to bring someone in to have more children, to be a secondary wife, but also like help Ashley. So I guess that's a good thing. So they're saying how they don't want to make the same mistake they made the first time, where this girl was strictly there to be in a relationship with Dimitri and kind of treated as a secondary thought. Dimitri is saying how, they have to take time to make sure this person is aware of exactly what they want and how they have to be all on the same page, which I think that's how you are with any relationship, though. Like, whether you're polygamous, whether you're a single dater, whether you're whatever, you want to be on the same page. And I think the thing about being on the same page, you have to ask a lot of questions, like, so that you have to have that communication to figure out, hey, what does our future look like? Like, do you want to just be with me? Are you okay with being with Ashley? Are you okay with us both? Like, just have those kind of conversations. And they were saying how this time they want to make sure that they're talking to this person together. Ashley was saying something like, sometimes if it's just me interacting with the girl, she can be more attached to me and not have such a connection with Dimitri. She's like, and vice versa. The person can, because if Dimitri was having the most communication with the person, she could be more connected to Dimitri and not to me. So, like, we both want to be able to effectively communicate together with her so this person can see we are a package deal. You can't have one without the other. And we're trying to be really a full, line polygamous family. It is what it is. What did I say? They were then responding to, like, one of the someone hit them back on their little polygamy dating site where they were looking for. They also said how they wanted to be sure that the woman knew that she was going to choose this lifestyle, not to say, oh yeah, I want to do it, but she's not really willing to be a part of that lifestyle. So they're responding to one of the people who on their little ad thing, and the girl was like 22, like a flight attendant. She doesn't have any kids, and the night was taking effect. I can feel myself getting hot and sleepy. So yes, a girl, I forgot what her name was, but they're trying to video chat with her. They had been chatting with her, like via, text and all that stuff. This was the first time they're going to video chat with her, and they were kind of nervous, which was different. But I guess she's nervous meeting anybody. And Athy was saying something like, people need to understand that, for the most part, it's just me and Dimitri, but we want to have our own little village. So for in a weird, different, well, not in a weird, in a different way, having a sister wife and creating this village, this will be our village. Some people have families and they like, we're a village, which means you have the parents, you have aunts and uncles and cousins, and there's a village around this child or this family helping them do whatever. And there's like their village for the most part is just them two. So they want to also have this sister wife to build a bigger village for them and their family. And when they videoed the girl, she was like, she answered all the questions the right way, when they were like, why you want to be a part of this lifestyle. And she said she just thinks she's open to it. She said that she responded to their ad because she thought they both were cute. She does say she does want kids as well. She was open to being with both Athlete and Dimitri. And, but they both just questioned her age because she's 22, saying, yes, she's open to this lifestyle. But it was like, is she saying that because she's so young? Like, in 5 years, when she evolve a little bit more and grow up a little bit more, is she going to then realize that this isn't what she wants? Because they're looking for someone to be a part of their family forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever is what they're looking for. So, because she is so young, that's their one hesitation. And, the girl bring up, I have a sister, she's 37. And Dimitri like, I'm 36. Are you okay with that? And she's like, yeah, I'm used to dating other guys, so, that's cool. So, I'm like, okay. So, it was a good conversation. However, they're just concerned with how young she is and if she's really, really ready for that particular lifestyle. From there, we see how Ashley is going to tell her mother that her and Dimitri are, again, looking for a sister wife. She said the first time she told her mother about it, her mama did not react, too good about it. Her mother was confused after she in a cult. Is there something that Dimitri put her up to? Was she gay? Is she a lesbian? Like, is she having sex with the girl, too? It's had all these different questions. So Dimitri and Athy agree that Ashley will be the one to tell her mother about it versus it being like a group conversation. And the mom is there because the mom is there, the sister is there, like the sister's boyfriend is there. They were having like a birthday party for their son. And when she told her mother didn't kind of flip out. Her mother did say like, it's not something that I would do. But you grown, you and Dimitri are the king and queen of your house. Y'all have to live your own lives and you do what's best for you. She said, but again, it's not something that I would, like, I ain't trying to share. And I think the one thing I do wonder for Dimitri and Alex is, like, is Ashley going to be with a girl? Like, for the most part, for the other wives and for the other families, you kind of see it as being separate. Like, he only with each wife. The wives aren't really with each other because they don't even have the kind of connection. But I feel like, I wonder if Dimitri and Alex and Ashley are any different in that aspect with who they're looking for. Just because I really do wonder. Because when they were saying how her mother and people have asked, like, are you with a girl? And she never answered and said no. So I just wonder, what's really going on there. So, and that's basically the whole story, them talking to the girl, telling her mom about it. Even they talked to her sister, and her sister was like, I'm not surprised that my sister, is living this polygamous lifestyle because she's always been open to doing things at least once. And she said, the first time they dated a girl, it didn't work out. We're like, okay, it was what it was. She's like, but now to see her going through it again, it's like, oh, you really, doing this particular lifestyle or whatever. So yeah, we have to see. The next episode does show how the girl is coming to meet them and stuff. So I'm like, we're gonna see how that's gonna go. Now, the last wives situation is Drew, who has the 3 wives and the 15 kids or whatever, and they all moved to the big house. And we see how Drew was saying, because they're trying to settle into this new house with it, because it's three wives and 13 kids in the house plus Drew. And Drew was saying how in Utah polygamy is illegal. I think it's illegal everywhere though. I do think, I wonder, I don't know if it's more illegal in Utah than anywhere else, but I don't think polygamy is legal anywhere. So, but he said that usually it's easier to live the lifestyle when you have multiple families who live in multiple homes because, no one is paying attention like that. He said, but it's completely different when you have the whole family in one home because people be looking like, why is this one man and these 3 women and these 15, all these kids? And I guess in Utah, because he said in Utah there's thousands of families who, live this polygamous lifestyle. So he was saying, just having all of them in the same house is a big risk for people finding out, them being reported. I think if they be reported, they can end up going to prison. They can lose custody of the children. It's just a whole crazy mess. And we see how Allurely, whatever, and Athy talking about how the neighbors are starting to be nosy and, ask questions or whatever. Well, I mean, you would think if a man move in with 3 women and we see 13 children, I'm going to want to ask him questions too, because, that's kind of how neighbors are. And, they have to basically lie about their lifestyle. And as he was saying how it's hard because, again, they can go to jail and now they would not be allowed to raise their children. And then they explained that April, the first wife, is the only one that's legally married to Drew. She has a legally binding marriage, in the particular state. Whereas the second and third wife, their marriage is not legal, basically. So Alorly says, like, her children can't call Drew dad in public because no one can know that he's also their dad. But to me, that's different because men have babies by multiple women all the time. And I'm like, and if he's not legally married to the other two, what if it's just a man who has a wife and some girlfriends and a whole bunch of kids? Like, cause I'm just wondering, like, if the marriages aren't legal for the second and third wife, and he's really just, he has a wife and he has these other 2 women he's with, who he has children with, why is that part illegal? So that's the part I guess I'm still trying to get figured out or whatever. They said how it wasn't an issue before. No, Allura, why if I can pronounce her name wrong? Alorly. Arlie, the second wife. I think I pronounced her name right. The second wife, who doesn't really get along with the first wife, was saying how there were issues before when her and the first wife was in the house. She said because her kids felt like secondary thoughts or secondary citizens because they couldn't call their dad in public. They couldn't, like, be out in the front yard doing things. They had to kind of hide. Whereas the first wife and her children can live life normal. They can be outside. They can call him dad. But, her kids can't do that because, again, she's the secondary wife. I would not be able to live this lifestyle for that reason alone. I don't want to marry anyone where if someone found out I'm married to them, I can go to prison and I lose my children. Or that my children can't call their father dad in public because it's illegal. That, to me, would be, like, not even worth the lifestyle, honestly, because, like, you would have certain children who would feel less than because they were raised as not being able to acknowledge their mother and their father in public. I think that's crazy. Both ladies say how, they want to avoid the neighbors, period. Whereas April, who's the first wife, who has no, if they get caught or whatever, nothing will happen to her because she's legally the first wife. She doesn't have the same, is it repercussions? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Whatever, y'all know what I'm thinking about. She don't have the same, oh my God, I can't think. I think it is repercussions as the second and third wife. So y'all know what I mean, though. But, they're saying how April wants to, like, invite the neighbors over and stuff like that. And they're like, for them, it's too risky because the kids could slip and say dad or something, or mom or something like that, and it's just too much. They feel like sometimes April just isn't aware, or she doesn't care as much because she has less to lose than they do. And, we then see Drew. Wait, no. Yeah, so we did see Drew. We did see Drew and the 3 wives basically sitting around and they're having to come up with a story, a lie, that they would tell people about who they are and who the kids would also tell too. So that if someone says, well, if that's his wife and that's April, well, who are these other 2 women? So, Drew was saying how he's an attorney, and, for him it's hard because he's visible in the state or whatever. So, for him having to sometimes hide things because of his other 2 wives, kind of crazy for him. Saying how he wants to move out of Utah, but he can't right now because his caseload is too high, so he can't retire yet. And you really can't retire if you got 3 wives and 15 children. So, yeah. April is then saying how, well, I just feel like we should just be open. I don't, lying never feels right to me, and I just wish, we didn't have to do it. She's like, but I know I have less to worry about. And when she said, like, I don't even want to lie, I think we should just tell the truth that whatever happens, happens. It's easy for you to say that because you're the first wife and nothing really happens to you. And when the second wife brings that up, April then says, well, no, because I will lose my husband as well. But you wouldn't lose your children. I think the second and third wife issue isn't about them not being able to be with their husband. It's that if we get caught, we can lose our children. And April doesn't have that same worry or fear, or, that's not an issue for her. We then see how they come up with this particular storyline that the second wife of Laura Lee is the visiting sister. She's the sister of Drew. So she's the visiting sister, and that Ashley, the third wife, is the nanny. I'm like, this is some shit. I just, for me, it was just crazy. And Drew was saying how they can't be affectionate outside the home. So my thing is, that means my husband can never take me on a date. My husband can never take me on. You can't go anywhere with your husband because you have to play like you're his sister, you're his nanny. I would not be okay with that at all. I just would not. And I wonder if that's why, at least on the two Utah families, we kind of see how the wives don't leave the house. The husbands go out and they go to work, but the wives kind of don't go anywhere, even though it's only episode 2. But yeah. So we then see them talking to the children, and Drew and all the moms are explaining, like, we have to tell, it's not right to lie. The only time it's okay to lie is if you're trying to help or protect someone who's innocent. Boy, girl, whatever. I was like, whatever. April then says how, she doesn't like telling the kids that they have to lie, but it is what it is. And again, she's saying how she'd just rather be open. You need to stop saying that, because it's making it seem like you don't care about the other people as much. Because I'm like, you wouldn't say that if you were the second and third wife. You can say that because you're the first wife. And then she was saying, like, I can't help that I married him first. And, I'm legally his wife. I can't help that. I don't want y'all guys to think I'm throwing it in your face. I don't think that you're purposely throwing it in their face, but I think every time you say, I just think we should tell the truth. You're saying that because you're the first wife. And telling the truth doesn't hurt you at all. It is what it is. So, Ashley says, like, well, I feel like when it comes to the safety of our family, it needs to be a priority that we have to keep up this lie. You can't just want to, say whatever and not care what happened. We have to protect the family. And I completely agree. Drew tells the kids, like, the neighbors don't know we have multiple mommies in the house. And we basically can't let them find out, because if they find out, we might have to move. We might have to go to jail, and then different things will happen. They then tell them, you can call Ashley the nanny. And then, remember that Laura Lee isn't Dad's wife. You know what I'm saying? Just say she's a distant relative on Dad's side. And then they tell the kids how they can't call him Dad, in public. You can't say who's your mom. You can't say that you're siblings. And when one kid says, so someone asked me, if you're my dad, what am I supposed to say? And they had no answer. And she was like, well, no, just say, hey, well, that's Drew. Like, don't say, yes, it's my dad. Don't say, no, it's my dad. Just call him Drew. That has to be crazy as a child to not be able to, just show affection to your father, just to acknowledge your father. You have to literally not acknowledge this person as your father in public because of y'all. I'm like, it was just so shocking. And, it kind of ended with the kids saying, so can we call, the second wife, can we call her auntie? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, this shit is crazy. And that's kind of how the episode goes off, with them saying how, you can't call them dad, you can't bring up this, and them telling the kids how they have to lie to everyone. So I am still interested in this show. Honestly, I am. I have more and more questions every episode. I think every episode is different, and it gives a different look at different scenarios and how people handle things differently. Because even in the aspect of Drew's home, each 3 wives handle things completely different. It's crazy. It's just, oh my God. So that was my review of Seeking Sister Wives. I'm going to drink some more NyQuil. Well, no, I can't drink any more NyQuil because that might drug me too much. But I feel like I'm getting sleepy and I have 2 more reviews to do. So hopefully I feel better tomorrow. Other than that, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.